All right, good evening, everyone. This meeting is being held remotely as an alternate means of public access pursuant to an order issued by the Governor of Massachusetts dated March 12th, 2020, suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You are hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Scituate in accordance with the open meeting law. So first thing we need to do is a roll of commissioners that are here. Penny?
Here.
Andy?
Here.
Jen?
Here.
Brendan? Brendan?
He needs to be a co-host.
I can see you, so I know you're there. There you are.
Here.
Okay, Doug?
Here.
Did I call you, Jen?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, and Richard Harding, acting chairman tonight. Also here is Amy Walke. So we're gonna, what did you say we're gonna start with, Amy?
Well, we got to accept the agenda.
Do we? That's right, you do. I'm sorry about that.
I make a motion to accept the agenda as presented unless there's an add-on.
And I do have an add-on.
Okay.
We have a request for a minor modification to a site plan at 72 Surfside. Add that. And then also we're gonna not take any action at the request of the applicant and their lawyer for 132 Maple. So we're gonna hold off on that one.
Okay.
Other than that, we're good to go.
Okay.
First up will be Paul Mirabito.
All right. So I make a motion we accept the agenda with the add-on from Amy. The two add-ons.
Do we have a second?
Second. Doug?
Doug has a second. All right. Acceptance, Penny?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Brendan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Richard? Yes. Okay. And now we're going to 49 Collier?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
we're not.
don't you just want to make the motion to continue it?
Yeah.
Okay. I make a motion to continue 49 Collier to December 7th.
That's Penny making a motion to continue to December 7th. Do we have a second?
Second. Andy.
Andy, second. All those in favor? Penny?
Yes.
Andy?
Yes.
Brendan?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Richard, yes. Okay. Thank you for that. What's next, Amy?
43 Oceanside.
43 Oceanside. And I should have, just give me 1 second here. Right.
Oh, you're going right to Oceanside?
Yes.
Okay.
On November 2nd, 2020, at 5:15 p.m. in Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will hold a wetlands hearing under Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Massachusetts General Laws and Section 30700 of the Town of Scituate Code of Bylaws, regarding the application of Alfred Boyajian to reconstruct a single-family dwelling and restore lawn and landscaping at location 43 Oceanside Drive, Scituate. The butters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information to access virtual meeting will be available on the agenda posted on the town website. Okay. And who's
We have
on?
Mr. Mirabito is on the line.
Good evening, Paul.
He needs to unmute.
Paul, you need to unmute.
He doesn't know that he's muted.
You're muted, Paul. Paul, can you unmute? There you are.
Here I am, okay. Let me give you just a very quick history on this site. about 10 or 12 years ago, Conservation Commission approved the raising and reconstruction of an old home that was on the lot. That home was constructed. And it was recently sold to Mr. Boyajian, who last year applied for a notice of intent to the commission to move the house down the street to 33 Oceanside Drive. That work has been completed. And this application that's before you this evening is to construct a new dwelling on the same lot. The lot is in the AE flood zone. It's elevation 15. The first floor of the house would have to be at least 15. We're proposing an elevation of 26.1. There's a lower level below the house, the first floor. That's at 16.1, which is just over a foot above the base flood, which is required by your rules and regulations. There are no grade changes to the lot. Those were made when the new home was built about 8 or 10 years ago. The size of the house is essentially the same. It meets all the required setback dimensions. There's only a 6% increase in the impervious area based upon the design of this house. It's mainly with the amount of the proposed covered porch in the front of the house. The house will use the existing water and sewer connection. It's proposed to be serviced by gas, which is in Marion Road. All the utilities will be up on the first floor of the house, well above the flood zone of 15. The driveways will be impervious. We don't show it on the plan, but during construction, there'd be some 2 to 3 inch trap rock placed in the area of the driveway, so any trucks entering wouldn't be bringing any silt onto any one of the surrounding streets. The silt sock will be in place prior to any work on the site. Right now, the site is vacant, so the work is fairly straightforward. The order conditions that were issued last year, we haven't applied for the certificate of compliance, but I will do so this week. But in any event, the commission can still proceed with a second notice of intent on the property. So I think with that, I'll end and answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Paul. Let's go down the list, but I'll change it up a little bit. Doug, any questions?
The foundation, is this a full foundation? Are there vents, flood vents? Is
No,
it
because the
piles or?
no, it's a poured concrete foundation, similar to the house that was removed from the site in the spring of this year. The reason there's no vents is that lower level is 1.1 feet above the base flood elevation of 15.
Okay, so the actual floor of the lower level
16.1.
is 16.1 above the flood elevation. Got you. And does this, I guess this is for Amy and my clarification, does this trigger stormwater review or not? Does that not apply in a
No,
area
I
of
don't think
coastal
that
flooding?
this applies at this site,
Okay,
although it doesn't change the fact that might want to see a few dry wells for the roof runoff, which is typical for new construction that you guys have been improving.
yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. I think what I see is those are stairways, right, Paul? That
Yeah.
going up and down. Okay, yeah.
Yes. Doug, to
Okay.
answer your question, note number 8 shows the difference in impervious area. It's a 6% increase. As I
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, it's mainly because of the covered porches he has on the front of the house.
Sure. Okay.
That it, Doug?
Yeah, that's good
For
for
now?
me for now. Yeah.
Okay. Jen?
Yeah, I think I'm Okay. So this plan, I'm not seeing any grading changes or anything like that called out. Is there anything in that realm, Paul?
No, as I mentioned in the narrative, the lawn that had been disturbed when they moved the house will be put back in like kind. That site was very slightly filled when they built the house about 8 or 10 years ago, but we don't need to bring any fill in for this project.
Okay, so there won't be, there's no retaining walls or stone walls or anything being proposed?
No, the elevation of the site varies from 15.2 to 15.8. With that slab at 16.1, at 16.1, that lower level slab will be at or above the surrounding grade, which will greatly reduce his flood insurance. By keeping that lower slab above the surrounding elevation of the existing ground, FEMA doesn't consider that a lower level, such as the basement.
Okay. I'm good for now.
Brendan?
I'm actually good for right now.
Andy?
I'm okay for right now.
Penny, I bet you are getting a little impatient.
No, I'm not impatient. I wait my turn. Well, I just have a question, a couple of questions, which kind of already answered. But first and foremost, is that basically in the same footprint as the old house? It looks like it to me.
It is because of the setback requirements.
Right.
Yeah.
So it isn't a bigger monster going there.
Oh,
No. Okay, and the other thing Jen did touch on, I just want to make sure that your client understands no boulders, no walls.
That's correct. We aren't showing
Okay,
any.
because they're not shown and
I
it has been an issue in the past.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yep, thanks, Paul.
You're welcome.
Paul, the only question I have, you said that's a 6% increase in impervious,
Yes.
and that is because of why? You may have said it. I'm sorry if I missed it.
Oh, I did, because the front of the house has the covered porches on it, so he
Yeah.
has a little bit more roof area than the old house. The threshold for stormwater would be 25%, and he's only at 6% increase. Which is below that threshold.
Okay.
But Amy mentioned the perhaps putting a condition in there that he put in the dry wells.
Dry wells, yes.
We typically use the infiltrators. We don't have a problem with that. I can add a detail to the plan if you want to make that a condition of approval.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on one second. Amy? Your thoughts on that?
Okay, sure. So it was issued a file number from the state, 682879 with no comments. I mean, I think the project's pretty straightforward, not changing the site too much other than the fact that it's restoring a house here on an empty lot, but limited work on the lot line, no walls, no boulders, structural plans. Typically, we do get structural plans for a project so that we know that they comply with building code. Construction entrance, I think Paul said he's going to add it, either infiltrate or dry wells for roof runoff.
We could make that as a condition.
Yeah, well, I think that all of these could probably be conditions pretty much,
Okay.
just to make it clear as to what our expectations are. And then just as a general question is, will there be soil stockpiled on site? Like, are you digging out for a basement? I think you said it's slab on grade, right, Paul? Is that what you said?
He'll have a frost wall where there was one before. And what he'll do is pretty much going to excavate the frost wall that was there and put another one back. So
And then spread that soil on site, or was that going to go off site?
no, anything they excavate for the frost wall, they'd put on a dump truck and haul it away because they'll need room to construct a house. It's a very small amount, and it's it'd be concrete. They're taking out the old foundation, which they typically put on a truck and haul away to a proper landfill or a crushing plant.
Right, well, pending your comments, Rich, and Butters' comments, which we'll want to see if people can participate by raising their hand on this. I have nothing further.
So
yes.
let's see if there's anybody that, in the outlying audience that is raising their hand on this. No one? All right, not seeing anyone, I would look for a motion.
I make a motion to close.
Any motions closed? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Doug.
Okay, Penny makes the motion, Doug seconds it. Go down the list. Brendan?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Penny?
Yes.
Richard, yes. So that's closed. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too.
Oh,
Let me go to 17 Old Farm, correct? And that's been opened.
It's been opened and discussed. Amy said we're just waiting for a few things that we can close it. I do
Is there-
believe.
Is there anybody online from,
Kevin Arrow?
Yep, Brendan Sullivan with Kevin Arrow Consulting.
how are you tonight?
Good, yourself?
Good, Brendan. Anything to particular to add to what's going on?
Yeah, so we made a couple of revisions to the plan. We added some proposed seagrasses over by a drainage outlet on the northern portion of the property. And we were asked to put maybe some infiltrators in for the roof runoff. But what we did in lieu of that is we made the driveway now, most of it pervious. We did put 2 aprons, one at the roadway and one in front of the garage, and made the middle of it a crushed stone type pervious driveway. So now actually we're reducing the overall impervious for the site by 400 feet. 2 things which I did not do, which was number one was Mr. Alberg made a comment that the datum is noted as assumed and is not assumed. I still haven't changed that. I got to change that. And I also did not add the construction entrance, and I can do that as well. We've also added 2 conservation posts at the rear of the property along the lawn area to delineate the the resource area in the backyard.
Good.
Okay.
So you've got a couple of things that you haven't been able to do yet. When would those be done, Brendan?
Oh, I was hoping that we could close tonight, and they're just minor modifications. I can additions to the plan. I can make in the plan and get them to Amy, this week easily.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Penny, you have any additional questions?
No, I think he's met everything.
Amy, do we need to go over anything else with this?
no, I mean, I guess you should probably poll the commissioners and then ask for butters one more time.
Okay. So, Jen, you got any more questions?
No, I'm good.
Brendan?
No questions at this time.
Andrew?
Oh, this looks good.
And Doug?
No questions. One extremely, extremely minor correction on the plan, and that's, I think it's Musquashcut Pond.
Yeah, there's a spelling error.
I think
That's
that's
a
a
spelling.
spelling error right there.
Musquashcut.
And I wouldn't even mention it, except if you have to change the plan anyways for the datum, you might as well do that. That's all.
Okay, but I think I've seen that spelt a number of different ways. So
I have
think-
too, so I wasn't
Oh.
sure, but I feel that these local people probably know very well.
Right,
Yep.
right.
That's
And
true.
my,
Please fix it, Brendan.
I will fix it. I
It'll make
will.
me happy.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Okay, well, thank you. Is there anybody in the audience raising their hands for 17 Old Farm Road?
Seeing none.
See none. Okay, then I will accept the motion.
I make a motion to close as long as Brendan gets the few little details into Amy this coming week.
Penny Pipes makes a motion to close. Do I have a second?
Second, Jen.
Jen seconds. All right. Brendan?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Andrew Gallagher?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Penny?
Yes,
Doug?
Yes.
Richard, yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Actually,
Hold on.
Rich, while we have Brendan here, why don't we go to the request for minor modification for 72 Surfside?
Sure.
Brendan, do you want to just talk quickly about what you're looking for there? I think it's pretty
Sure.
straightforward, but it's better coming from you.
Yeah, so we're on the other side of Musquashcut Pond.
Washington, yeah.
Over on Surfside Road is a vacant lot, was approved footprint back in 2017. And new prospective owners I think they have it under agreement, the lot. They want to put a different footprint on there, getting a little bit closer to the edge of the bank. It was approved at 52.1 feet. It's going down to 50.4 feet, still outside of the 50-foot buffer, but a little bit closer. And the footprint from before, you can see it's more of a box now. It was more longer and narrower. So they kind of, and the views are obviously to the rear and the front. So that's the way the house is more oriented in that direction. So the house got a little bit bigger and a little bit closer to the wetland, but we're still maintaining 50 feet of setback. We still have a 30-foot no mow buffer there, and also a infiltration trench along the back of the property as well.
So basically, there's really no change beyond the just under 2 feet of change on the overall drawing, correct?
Correct, yeah.
And from the where the lawn is and all of that, there's no change back there. I think you said all of this. I just want to make sure I understand it right.
Yes, that is correct. There's no change inside the 50, just the footprint of the house got a little bit bigger. The house got shifted a little bit further to the south, which is to the left, to give us some setback away from the abutting property, which they built the house on there just last year.
And this house is totally on open pilings.
Yes. Yep. Similar, like once again, similar to the one next door. It'd be open pilings. I don't know if we show it with open pilings with lattice below. The elevation will not change. The top and pile, the elevation 15. There is an elevation floodplain out there is 14. So the top and pile will be a foot above the floodplain.
Okay. Penny, questions?
no, I just want to refresh my memory. Is that vegetation already in that buffer zone, that small buffer zone you're going to have no disturb, no mow area?
The no mow area is currently lawn, but then there is some brush and shrubs between the lawn and the resource area.
Okay, but they're not going to mow in that area, right?
Right. So it's going to be basically left in its natural state. It'll be left to come back. I mean, I haven't been out there in a couple of years. Well, I've been out there next door, but I didn't look at this site
Right.
exactly to see if the lawn has been maintained.
Well, it's just always very tempting for people once they're in the house and we go away to start mowing where they
Yep.
are not supposed to. That's all. That's my concern there. But we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you.
Jen? Jen?
Yeah, I don't think I was. I don't feel like I ever saw this one. Maybe I was out that day, but so I'm just kind of seeing it. Are we to speak to Penny's point a little bit about the no mow area, or just in general? Do we have
We gave
any
them-
conservation markers here that can help enforce that where the no mow area begins?
There were none on the original approval back in 2017, but we'd be more than happy to add some if you think that would solidify the line out there.
Well, it just helps to set a precedent and
Yeah.
let that really grow back in and be wild. You know, because we gave them 20 feet where it's only a 30-foot buffer, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah, we could.
it's just
we
going
could-
to be very tempting in a couple of years to go out there and just mow the whole thing.
Well, I mean, frankly, even by accident,
Yeah.
you know, 'cause if you have,
Well, that can happen too.
so
Have some lawn service comes in
right, so
and they just go out and, yeah.
Yeah, watch out for those lawn guys.
It would, yeah, Amy. It wouldn't hurt, Jen. That's a good idea. I don't know why we didn't do it in the beginning.
You must not have been thinking, Penny. It's okay.
Oh, must not have been thinking the brain was dead.
Brendan, can that work? Brendan
Yes, that'll
Collins?
work.
Okay,
Yep.
Brendan Collins, your comments?
I have no comments now.
Andy?
I think you said it's a little bit larger overall. Do you know how much larger the footprint is?
It went from about
1.7 feet.
1240 to about 1550, so about 300 square feet.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay, Doug?
I'm good. No question.
And would we go to the audience on this one, or it's a minor modification? No, okay. So we would vote that this would be up and down on this.
Any more comments, Amy?
No,
Okay. So Penny, how are you with this?
I'm fine with it. Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. Doug?
Yes.
Jen?
yep, I'm good.
Andy?
Yes.
And Brendan?
Yes.
Richard's good too. Okay, so we're good on this, but we will add the conservation markers, correct, Brendan?
Yes, yep. Feel like
Okay.
maybe like think three would do the trick?
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Appreciate your time.
very good then. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you too.
I don't know why we didn't ask for a fence at the first
Like
meeting.
I said, you just weren't thinking, Penny.
I guess not. I'm surprised that got through.
All right, we're good. We're good on
Yeah.
this. So we have an RDA coming up now for 45 Kingsway.
I don't know who is presenting this, honestly. There's 3 choices of people left, but
Well, why don't I do my little spiel here and we'll open it up. On November 2nd, 2020, during the 5:15 meeting at Town Hall, the Scituate Conservation Commission will act on the request of Dana Jr. for the determination of applicability of the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and the Scituate Wetlands Bylaw for activities related to septic repair at property known as 45 Kingsway, Scituate. Abutters and other interested parties are invited to attend. Information and access to the virtual meeting will be available on the agenda posted on town website. So do we have somebody on the line for this?
if whoever is presenting for 45 Kingsway, raise your hand so we know it's you.
Nobody. You don't know who's the engineer, Amy?
The representative is Dana Jr.,
Yeah, the owner was
Valerie Simpson.
Simpson.
Do we have enough information for you to talk about it, Amy, or do you want to just move on?
Yeah, well, this one has been kicking around for quite a long time, since last March, actually, and mostly for the reason that it was held up in Board of Health for plan revisions. And anyways, and so I think that they finally did get approval for this plan through the Board of Health just recently. And one of the things that had been missing was the wetland delineation, which was confirmed by Pine Brook Consulting in June of 2020. And that delineation does show that the Scituate Brook is on the southwest side of the property, drops down and back into a buffer zone for that brook. But anyways, they're looking for an upgrade for the septic system for the existing 4-bedroom house that's there. And it appears to meet the requirements of a negative determination.
Was this a failed system or is this just improvements?
You know, I don't know whether it was failed. I'm thinking that the house is
It's
pending
denoted as
sale.
the
Repair.
title says it's a repair there.
Yeah.
Doug, you look at these all the time.
Do you see anything?
No, I mean, I'm looking at this. They got that septic system tucked up in the corners, close to the street as they can possibly be allowed to get it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else to put it that helps, one side of the house or other. They're raising the grade of the system approximately 2 feet above the existing grade, so it is got a little bit of an exposed mound, but it's not really changing the direction of the flow, which goes from the Kingsway back towards the wetland. So it's really, it's just a little typical little mounded system that you see with some chambers underneath.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I believe it's gravity fed. No, they do have a pump chamber, so they're doing the best they can. They can't even run it gravity, so I can't see that the only way they could go gravity would be to put it right next to the wetlands in the back,
Right.
and they're not doing that. So I think I'm good with it. I think.
Appreciate the engineering insight. Brendan, you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions on this.
Andy?
No, Doug's explanation makes sense.
Okay. Jen?
I'm good.
Penny?
I'm just curious what's out there now. I can't see that they're saying they're filling anything in, or am I looking in the wrong place?
The plan's tough to interpret, Penny. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm just curious where it is now.
It says on there, pump, crush, and fill existing structure.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Right there.
And it is hard to see, Penny. There's no
Yeah.
question, but
Yeah.
it is there.
Okay. Thank you. Nope, that's all. I was just curious. I mean, it's a tough
Yeah.
lot. Do the
Okay.
best they can.
Okay. Amy, you got any more to say on it before we go to any audience?
No.
Okay. Anybody in the audience that would like to speak up for this RDA on 45 Kingsway? Raise your hand. Let us know. Okay. Not seeing anyone.
Motion for -3.
Penny makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second, Doug.
Doug makes a second. Jen?
Yep.
Andy, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Brendan,
Yes.
Penny,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Richard, yes. Okay. Thank you, folks. You did the minor modification. We're not doing 132 Maple, is that right?
Right. We're gonna hold that to next meeting.
So,
Mitchell, I make a motion, we accept the orders of condition as written from 16 Mitchell.
Penny, you're going faster than I am. I'm a little slow tonight for sure, but still. Okay, so, Penny makes a motion to accept 16 Mitchell. Do I have a second?
Second, Doug?
Doug seconds. Jen,
Yep.
Andy,
Yes.
Brendan,
Yes.
Richard, yes. So that's good. Now, we had draft minutes sent out. Hold on, Penny. We had draft minutes sent out today. I thought they mostly looked good. But go ahead now, Penny.
Well, you didn't ask me on the last one. I didn't get to vote. But yes, on the orders of condition.
Okay.
The approval of the draft minutes. Yeah, I read those too. I make a motion, we accept them as written. They were long. There was a lot of discussion there, peoples, but it all seemed, Jen did a great job
She did.
capturing.
She did. Okay, Penny, thank you
It
for the
was
motion.
painful too.
Who's seconding it?
Second, Doug?
Doug seconds. Penny, are you okay with this now this time?
Yes.
Okay. And Jen,
Yep, I'm good.
Brendan,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
and Richard, yes. I'm going right down the list. We had Jen and Amy sent out a list of meeting dates for next year, proposed meeting dates. We've had to make a few changes this year that may happen again, but I thought they were okay, and I personally thought that you kind of have to wing it a little bit on the town meeting in April because we don't really know what will be going on then. So, but otherwise, it's a couple of Wednesdays in there, but for holiday reasons, that kind of has to be. So anybody have any thoughts about the meetings that were sent out, and did you all see them?
I'm good with it.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
that's
good.
3.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes.
Amy and Jen, are you two okay with this? Should we go ahead
and just figure
That's going to be in the calendar.
Yeah. We'll be
Okay.
here.
Can I
All right.
ask? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, with this town meeting coming up, I don't even know if it's gonna happen because the town's gone into a red zone again, or
Yep.
we're in red, but are we gonna, if we do have town meeting, are we going to start the meeting at 4? Did everybody answer on that or what?
Yes.
I did not answer,
And you, Penny, and I usually are working the town meeting.
Yeah, well, we have to be over there. Oh, it's 6:30.
6:30, yes. So 4 o'clock would work fine.
If there isn't a lot on there. Well, we're orchestrating the agenda so that it's, it's going to work out if we start at 4. It will be no longer than 2 hours.
Okay, yeah.
we were maxing it out at an hour and a half.
Okay.
Based on a.
Great.
All right. So is everybody else okay with a 4 p.m. start on the 16th? Can everybody do that? As far as you know now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I put it in ahead of time, I'll be fine with that.
Okay.
We might not have town meeting. I don't know.
No, then you'll get a notice that we'll do it at 5:15.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Well, and we even, with the people who replied, we have enough for a quorum if everybody shows up. So if
That's all.
the election workers can't make it, it's okay. I mean, I think at this point we have we've been getting a lot of filings. It's ridiculous, actually. I mean, I guess it's great because it means the economy's really moving, right? But yeah, we've had a lot of filings where it's going to be a busy couple of months coming up.
Well, that's
Some
okay.
big projects, some little projects.
Yes,
And
it's
next meeting, I
something
think so the little projects, we're going to try to kick off like 6 RDAs or something like that. And then maybe an ANRAD and an NOI, it's something like that. But I mean, yeah, great.
Okay. All right, then. So let's figure it, everybody, that it's going to be at 4 o'clock unless the town meeting is canceled or postponed. And on the 16th. And the next thing I have, Andy, you tell us something about Appleton Field?
Sure, I can provide an update. I spoke
Terrific.
about it a couple weeks ago, and there's been some movement and a lot of energy around it. So just a quick update. I connected, well, as you know, John Belber came and told us a little bit about his plan to try to use no-till regenerative farming. There's a bunch of folks who are interested. I think we can probably get something going soon. I mean, the two main things we'll need, big ticket items, would be a permanent deer fence and a well eventually. But I think there's a lot of feeling that we can start putting some stuff out there that's a little less water intensive and getting some activity. The Belbers have actually already recruited a number of high school students and a bunch of volunteers, and they've kind of carved out just a little corner of the field to begin putting down cardboard and mulch and that kind of stuff to prepare it for next spring if we can get something going. Yeah, so there's movement. I know at least one farmer, maybe a couple, who are interested in doing some organic farming. That's a big field, and obviously I don't think it can all be used for community garden purposes, and so I think we can look at that. Probably the next steps are to kind of develop a more long-term plan to bring back to this group to make sure we're all in agreement on what we want to do in terms of space to reserve for the community and space to reserve for a tenant, and then to look into resources for well and fencing. I know there are some supplies out there from the last farmer who leased it. We got to kind of settle on that and figure that piece out. But there should be at least, I mean, there's currently activity with field preparation, and there should be maybe a little bit of activity in the spring.
Great.
Okay,
Great.
Andy, just one thing. Back when we did, I know it's a much smaller field, but for the original deer fencing for there, I went to the dump and collected money in one weekend for that. But
Okay.
I don't think they're allowing you to do that now, which is unfortunate. But maybe come spring, because that is a definite way to raise some quick money for us. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do with this phone. That's a quick way to at least do that. The water's going to be a problem. That's it. I was just wondering, on electricity, I don't know how the lines work, but I know there is electricity running to the small cottage behind the main house. Now, is that something that the electric company could run from there all the way out to do a pump if we did a well, to the electricity for a pump? That's something to look into. I thought of that, Jason Beal lives in the small cottage, so they have electricity, and that's like 3/4 of the way out of the old roadway that used to go in.
Yep.
So it wouldn't be a real long way, like coming from the street on the new roadway, to bring electricity out there.
Right.
But
Yeah,
that's definitely something you're going to have to look into.
Yep. And then there was some talk about the volunteers who are interested. So it's John and a few others. Several of them are active at Teak Sherman already, about potentially starting, a small nonprofit, a friends of kind of thing, to be able to gather money and have a steady source of funding to take care of things year to year.
Definitely can go to CPC, but the sad thing is it's closed now for this year.
Right.
But down the road,
Yep. Yeah.
Should be
Oh, the other thing is that I just wanted to say was that before we got water at the Teak Sherman, the town, the water department was good enough to let us have one of those huge tanks. And we put it on a small trailer and we'd take it down the water department, they'd fill it up, and then we'd use it during the week, and then, you know, somebody would bring it back. So that is a source of water until you can get a permanent source out there.
That would
You
be
know,
great.
That they were very, very good, you know, to let us do that and to give us the tanks
Okay.
for the water.
Yeah, that would be a temporary solution.
Tanks.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that could be a solution as we get things going. I mean, I think the first question was, you know, is there enough enthusiasm to get this going? I think that's been answered. Yes, there are people ready, you know, chomping at the bit to do this.
They've been chomping at the bit for a long time, waiting for us to buy the property and to settle on it. So it's exciting. I'm absolutely thrilled you've taken this on.
Yeah, it's really much appreciated. Nice job. And more updates will be welcome when they're ready.
Great, thank you.
Amy, anything else we got on tonight that you can think of?
No, thanks, Andy. No, we're good.
Anybody else want to say anything before we entertain an idea of closing up this meeting?
Go out and vote tomorrow if you haven't.
If you haven't, you can come see me. It's okay. I'll be at the high school all day.
Lucky you.
Aren't I lucky? Yeah.
I'll come see you at 7:45.
Okay, that's good. But I'll be available anytime from 6:15 in the morning on. So don't worry about it.
Love you, Richard.
Yeah, great. Thanks. All right. So I would entertain a motion to end the meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second, Andy.
Andy seconds. Penny, you good with the idea of closing? All right.
Yes, that's a good idea.
All right. Thank you. Doug? Doug already left. Jen?
Yep.
Andy?
Yes.
Brendan?
Yes.
Doug, are you there?
No, Doug, we can't hear you. Oh, there he is.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, folks. I'm sorry for the kind of rough start, but appreciate all the attention.
Yeah, good job, guys.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thanks.
Have a good
Bye.
Good night.
Night all.